The Forgotten Graveyard, Chapter 1. The Driext, Small Town Evening. A small, quiet town nestled between thick forests and rolling hills. The sun is setting, casting an eerie glow over the landscape. A group of 5 teenagers, Sam, Lucas, Megan, Rachel, and Tom, are gathered around a fire pit in Sam's backyard, telling ghost stories. Sam, alright, who's up for a real challenge? Lucas, what do you have in mind? Sam, spend the night in the old graveyard. The group falls silent, glancing at each other uneasily. The graveyard is a well-known local legend, said to be haunted and overgrown with decades of neglect. Megan, you mean the one in the woods? The Forgotten Graveyard. Same exactly. It's just stories, guys. Who's brave enough? Rochelle, it's just a bunch of old graves. Tom, fine. But if we hear or see anything, we're out of there. They agree, a mix of bravado and nerves evident on their faces. They grab flashlights, backpacks, and a few snacks, setting off towards the darkening forest. Chapter 2. The Arrival. Forgotten Graveyard. Night. Teenagers arrive at the graveyard, which is barely visible through the dense trees and overgrown vegetation. The gate is rusty and hanging off its hinges. They push it open, the creak echoing through the night. Lucas, welcome to the creepiest place on earth. The graveyard is filled with old, crumbling tombstones, some tilted or fallen, covered in moss and vines. A chill runs down their spines as they venture deeper into the graveyard. Rachel, this place is even creepier than I imagined. They set up a small camp near the center, lighting a lantern for some light. The shadows cast by the tombstones dance around them, making the atmosphere even more unsettling. Chapter 3. The First Encounter. Graveyard. Night. As they sit around the lantern, the conversation is filled with nervous laughter and half-hearted jokes. Suddenly, they hear a faint whispering sound like multiple voices overlapping. Megan, did you guys hear that? The group falls silent, straining to listen. The whispering grows louder, seeming to come from all directions. Sam, it's just the wind. Relax. But the whispering becomes clearer, sounding like words they can't quite make out. Lucas shines his flashlight around the beam, cutting through the darkness. Lucas, there's nothing here. Then, out of nowhere, a gust of cold wind blows through the graveyard, extinguishing the lantern. The teenagers gasp, scrambling to relight it. Tomake, that was weird. They managed to relight the lantern, but the atmosphere has changed. The shadows seem darker, and the air feels heavy with tension. Chapter 4. The Awakening. Graveyard. Night. As the night wears on, the group tries to keep their spirits up, but the whispering continues, growing more insistent. Rachel stands up, looking around nervously. Rachel, maybe we should leave. Sam, no way. We haven't even seen anything yet. Suddenly, Megan screams. The others turn to see her pointing at a tombstone. An ethereal figure is standing behind it, barely visible but unmistakably there. Megan, do you see that? The figure moves, gliding between the tombstones. More figures begin to appear, their forms shimmering in the moonlight. The teenagers huddle together, terrified. Lucas, what are they? Eerie voices fill the air, speaking in a language they can't understand. The figures move closer, their faces pale and eyes empty. Chapter 5. The Dark History. Graveyard. At night, spirits begin to surround the group, their presence overwhelming. One spirit, more solid than the others, steps forward. It is an old man dressed in tattered clothing, his face twisted in anger and sorrow. Old spirit, you should not have come here. SAMW, we didn't mean any harm. We were just curious. Old spirit, this place is cursed. The souls here are restless, their sins unforgotten. The ground beneath them begins to shake, and the tombstones tremble. The spirits start to wail, their cries echoing through the night. Tom, need to get out of here. As they try to flee, the spirits block their path. The old spirit reaches out to them. Old spirit, you must know the truth. Only then can we be free. Chapter 6. The Revelation. Graveyard. Night. Teenagers are paralyzed with fear, but the old spirit's plea touches something inside them. They nod, agreeing to listen. Old Spirit were sinners, all of us. This graveyard holds the souls of those who committed terrible deeds. Murderers, thieves, betrayers. We are cursed to remain here, reliving our sins for eternity. As the Old Spirit speaks, the others show visions of their past crimes, horrific acts committed in life that condemned them in death. The teenagers watch in horror, realizing the graveyard's dark history. MEGAN. What can we do to help you? Old Spirit, you must perform a ritual to cleanse this place. Only then can we find peace. The Spirit explains the ritual, detailing the steps they must take. The teenagers gather the necessary items from their backpacks, preparing to perform the cleansing. Chapter 7. The Cleansing Ritual. Next, Graveyard. Night. The teenagers stand in a circle, holding hands. They follow the Old Spirit's instructions, chanting the incantations. The spirits wail louder, the ground shaking more violently. Sammy hopes this works. As they complete the ritual, a blinding light envelops the graveyard. The spirits cry out one last time before being drawn into the light, their forms dissolving into the air. The ground stops shaking, and the graveyard falls silent. Chapter 8. Aftermath. Graveyard. Dawn. The first light of dawn breaks over the horizon. The graveyard looks different, less menacing, more peaceful. The teenagers, exhausted but relieved, gather their things. Rachel. I think it's over. They walk back towards the gate, the weight of the night's events heavy on their shoulders. As they reach the edge of the graveyard, they turn back one last time, seeing the Old Spirit standing alone. Old Spirit, thank you. We are free. The Spirit smiles, then fades away, leaving the graveyard empty and still. Chapter 9. Returning home. Next. Small town morning. The teenagers return to town, the events of the night still fresh in their minds. They part ways, each heading home to process what happened. Sam's house. Morning. Sam sits in his room, looking at a photo of the group taken before the dare. He realizes how much they've grown and changed in just one night. Sam never again. He puts the photo away, determined to leave the past behind and move forward. Chapter 10. New beginnings. Next. Small town. Day life returns to normal for the teenagers, but the memory of the forgotten graveyard stays with them. They meet up occasionally, their bond stronger than ever. Luke Castum never forgetting. Meganto. New beginnings. They clink their drinks together, knowing they've faced something truly terrifying and come out stronger on the other side. Fade out.